Africa Global Radio. Our story, our growth, our future.
Headlines across Africa.
Welcome to Headlines Across Africa for today, 27th November 2023. I am Mary Ejapoma Kisi. In the headlines, Israel and Hamas carry out swap of hostages and prisoners under ceasefire agreement. Ghana takes steps to migrate onto 5G network. And in Senegal, rural women advocate for climate justice ahead of climate change conference. In the first stage of a swap under a 4-day ceasefire deal between Hamas and Israel, Hamas released 24 hostages it held captive in Gaza for weeks, and Israel freed 39 Palestinians from prison. Under the deal, Hamas is to release at least 50 hostages and Israel 150 Palestinian prisoners over the 4 days. Both sides were starting with women and children. Israelis shared as 13 Israeli women and children emerged free from Gaza. Most were in their 70s or 80s, and the youngest was a 2-year-old. Also released were 10 people from Thailand, including 4 who had not been officially listed as abducted, and 1 from the Philippines, Thailand's foreign ministry announced. 24 Palestinian women and 15 teenagers held in Israeli prisons were also freed on the first day of the 4-day truce deal. With the agreement still on course, Hamas in a recent statement says it wants to extend its 4-day truce with Israel, which has now seen the release of 3 groups of Israeli hostages from Gaza and 3 groups of Palestinian prisoners and detainees from Israeli jails. Qatar, which is also playing a central role in mediating the agreement, says it also hopes to extend the truce, which includes provision for an extension of 1 extra day for every 10 hostages Hamas is ready to free. The Director General of the National Communications Authority (NC) in Ghana, Joe Anoche, says necessary arrangements have been made for Ghana to migrate onto the 5G network. According to him, the spectrum required for 5G is currently available, and an official announcement regarding the transition to 5G will be made in 2024. He says plans are underway to implement the 5G and that there are a few policy decisions that need to be made regarding how the spectrum will be made accessible. He notes that the authority does not want only one entity to have the capability of acquiring 5G, hence discussion is still ongoing. He therefore calls on various institutions to enhance local internet services to ensure the effectiveness of the 5G system once it is implemented. Mr. Noche further notes that, in collaboration with the National Media Commission, the NCA is committed to help clamp down on television operators who broadcast undesirable content. Senegalese rural women have staged a demonstration calling for climate justice, stating that they continue to endure the adverse impact of climate change. Organizer of the march, Kadi Kamara, says the women are mobilizing today because climate crisis is at a crossroads of an environmental, health, the COVID-19 pandemic, social and economic crisis. Climate change poses significant threat to agriculture in Senegal, where only 7% of cultivated land is irrigated, rendering the country's agriculture highly reliant on rainfall. The protest precedes the upcoming 2023 United Nations Climate Change Conference, also known as the COP28 Summit, scheduled to take place in Dubai, starting on 30th November 2023. Environmental lawyer Mohamed Lamin Sek says fighting climate change is very difficult and requires material and financial resources that the women currently don't have, hence are reminding decision makers who will be present at COP28 of a green fund noted last year to support the fight against climate change. Notably, this marks the 3rd protest organized by Senegalese women advocating for climate justice. And that's how we end Headlines Across Africa today, 27th November 2023. We'll come your way with more news tomorrow right here on Africa Global Radio. I am Mary Ejapoma Kisi.
For this and more, check us out on africaglobalradio.com. On Facebook and YouTube, Africa Global Radio. On Twitter and Instagram, AF Global Radio.